entering the Little Ituri Forest. Over.
Keep your eyes open and drive carefully. You should see lots of animals.
Well, sure enough, right off the bat over there on your right-hand side, kind of back behind those trees, though might be a little bit hard to see, you'll see an okapi. And okapis are very shy and reclusive animals of the forest. In fact, they're so shy they weren't even discovered until 1901. Before that, they were thought to be a mythical creature, kind of like the unicorn.
Hey, Randall, but the okapi is very good to drink.
Now. Important part of the forest, also home to some of the rarer species like the black rhino, which I do see out there right now. Pretty lucky that you're getting to see a black rhino, or that you got to see a black rhino, because there are actually less than 5,000 black rhinos left out in the wild. They are being hunted and poached illegally for those horns that they have in front of them. Even though they're about 3,000 pounds each and they have those horns and a 1-inch thick hide, the only animal they are not indestructible to is humans. They're not even entirely safe on reserves like this one because poachers always seem to find a way onto reserves.
What?
Craziest thing. But we're actually making our way out of the Ituri Forest now, and we're going to be heading over to the Safi River. But before we do, we're going to get to see a couple more animals over here on our left-hand side. That animal that looks kind of like a deer is the greater kudu. Actually, it's the second largest antelope in Africa. And those birds back there, the colorful birds, those are saddle-billed storks. They were kind of behind the trees, but saddle-billed storks get really tall. They get up to 5 feet tall, and they have an 8 to 9 foot wingspan, so they get pretty huge. But like I said, we're coming up to the Safi River now. We're 100% guaranteed to see some hippos out here at the Safi. But hippos are kind of hard to find sometimes, so help me out, because they spend a lot of time under the water. They hold their breath for really long periods of time, actually, anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. Then they go come up at the top actually for another breath, and they go right back under. They really don't pull themselves all the way out of the water until nighttime. That's when they pull themselves out onto the water's edge, and then they'll eat about 100 pounds of grass every night.
Look, all the way in the back.
Yeah, I didn't really see any hippos out there, but pretty sure over on the left we'll probably get to see some hippos. Let's see if we can find some out on this side of the Safi.
For 100%, that was pretty disappointing. See some bubbles.
Oh yeah, look at that. A whole bunch of hippos actually over here on the left-hand side. There you go. That's a pretty good view. Now, despite spending so much time in the water, hippos are actually pretty bad swimmers. They really don't swim very much at all. They walk along the bottom of the river mostly. That's because they have such short legs. Doesn't really make for good swimming. And if you see those really large white birds that are out there with them, those are pink-backed pelicans. The cool thing about those pelicans actually is when it comes time to hunt, they really all work together as a team. Collectively, they herd small fish towards the shallow water. So that's a big community out there in the Safi. Everybody helps everybody out. Looks like a rickety old bridge up ahead. Bridges make me just a little bit nervous, but that truck seems to gotten across safely. Looks like there's some Nile crocodiles out there though, and they're much larger and more aggressive than the American alligator. Those guys do get up to about 22 feet in length, and they can crush the bones of their prey in those massive jaws, so I say let's get out of there. Hey Wilson, Simba 1 here, what's up?
Just wanted to let you know that my ground patrol has seen a lot of elephant activity near the red clay pit. You definitely want to check out that area.
Alright, sounds good. Red clay pits. We'll check them out in a little bit, Wilson. But first, we're going to enter into a completely different ecosystem with completely different animals. And speaking of different, notice that different looking tree over there on your right-hand side. That is a baobab tree. Baobab trees store water in those massive trunks of theirs so they can go leafless up to 9 months out of every year. Helps them out with the severe droughts that we have here in Africa. This is actually my favorite view in the whole reserve.
Here's a Lakota monkey.
We're entering into the Serengeti grasslands now, which stretch over hundreds of miles out here in East Africa. They're also home to some of our favorite animals like giraffes, elephants, and lions. Now, all of the landscaping you see out here in the grasslands is actually done by the animals that live here themselves. So elephants knock down the trees to get to the roots, are known as the bulldozers. And giraffes eat the underside of the trees, so they're known as the pruning shears. When they eat the underside of the trees, though, it opens up space to allow sunlight and rain to come down, which makes the grass grow, which then in turn provides food for antelopes and gazelles. So basically, what I'm saying is, in an ecosystem like this, there's always enough food for everybody, as long as they all work together. I see some animals actually over there on our right-hand side, but I think we'll probably get a better view if we come around this bend. So we'll check them out in just a second. But you may have noticed these tall mounds that are all around us, actually. There's some right in front of our truck, actually. Those are termite mounds. Termites make those mounds out of their saliva and mud, and they get to be as hard as concrete. Pretty cool. You'll also see some that look a little bit worn down. That one looks a little bit worn down. This one up ahead on the left doesn't look as worn down. But elephants use those termite mounds as scratching posts. So if you ever see a worn down termite mound, probably means elephant somewhere in the area. Now all around us, these really small gazelle are Thompson gazelle, actually. We like to call them Tommies. Cool thing about Tommies, they're very fast, very agile. They're able to make really quick turns. They're not babies either. They're fully grown at that size. They're about 60 pounds each when they're fully grown. Now, opposite side of the spectrum, you have this really large antelope out here, actually the largest antelope in Africa. That is a Patterson eland. Patterson elands are about 2,000 pounds each, and they stand 6 feet tall at the shoulder, so they are pretty massive. They're pretty huge, actually. Grown adult Patterson eland could look a grown adult human directly in the eyes. Intense. I'm going to come around this bend here and make a couple more turns, and then we'll see what other animals we can find out here in the grasslands. Then I will take you guys out to elephant country, if that's okay with y'all. Yeah, I'm going to take that silence as that's okay with y'all.
We're going to elephant country?
No, not now, not right now.
Will we see sea lions in that elephant country?
Let's see what else we can find.
What will we see? Lions? In elephant country?
Maybe some animals hiding underneath this tree over here on our left. I'll pull up so I can see a little bit closer. It looks like, actually, looks like white bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest? Let's see, wildebeest. Yeah, wildebeest have the largest animal migration in Africa. About 1.5 million of those guys migrate across Africa annually, creating a huge stampede every year. You guys remember the movie The Lion King? Remember the stampede part? Really sad part? It's wildebeest.
Boo!
You may also see this antelope all by himself over here on the right-hand side. That is a waterbuck, actually. Waterbucks do have a water-resistant coat on them. And you may see those really long horns kind of out there underneath those trees and the grasses back there. They belong to the Ankole cattle. Ankole cattle's horns do get to be about 5 to 6 feet in length, and they have a 20-inch circumference. They're pretty massive. But they're not as heavy as they look because they're not solid inside. They are honeycomb shaped. Now over here on the left, looks like we're going to get some pretty good views of some giraffes. Kind of hard to miss. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world. They can stand anywhere from 14 to 20 feet tall, depending on the breed. There's actually 2 different types of giraffes out here right now. 2 different breeds anyways. This giraffe closest to us right here, and the furthest left giraffe, those are both reticulated giraffes. The other ones are all Maasai giraffe. Reticulated are taller, 20 feet usually. Maasai around 15 usually. You can tell the difference because of their pattern as well. Because reticulated have a nice cleaner looking pattern. Maasai not as neat. They have an oak leaf shaped pattern kind of. I mentioned them being the pruning shears and eating the underside of the trees. Pretty good example of those giraffes living up to their name right there.
Actually, there's.
Oh wow, there's a bunch back there too.
They only sleep 30 minutes every day, and they sleep standing up, and they don't sleep 30 minutes consecutively. So none of those things sound good to me. Not agreeing with the giraffe sleeping patterns.
You hear that?
What is your location?
Yeah.
Entering elephant country now, Wilson.
Keep your eyes open for me. We picked up a baby elephant that was wandering off on its own. We can't find the mother. I'm afraid poachers may be in the reserve.
Poachers? Okay, that doesn't sound good, but keep our eyes open for anything suspicious, Wilson. So elephant country's over there on our right-hand side. That's actually exactly where I'm taking you guys right now, out to elephant country. And I know Wilson said he saw that baby elephant on its own, and he's getting kind of suspicious, but it's too good to pass up. I'm taking us to elephant country anyways. I'm pretty sure we'll be fine. I mean, if I see anything weird, I'll just give him a call, let him know. So it's a short drive out there. We'll be there soon, no worries. And wait a second, might be able to tune this radio station in so we have something to listen to on the drive. Perfect. It's weird, actually. That's normally the road I take to elephant country. Looks like it's closed, so I've heard about a shortcut up straight ahead, and I guess you don't really have a choice at this point. But I mean, there's like an 85% chance we'll be fine. We should be good. This doesn't look too bad.
This is where we go.
Sure, we'll get to elephant country eventually.
Wow, traffic light.
Another revealed bridge. Yay. Alright guys, stay seated as we go over this bridge. It doesn't really look as safe as the last one we crossed, or sound as safe, but so far so good, right? No worries. Okay, alright everybody, hang on. Alright, way too close for comfort, getting out of there. That's a close one, but we're all okay, we're good, right? Not too bad, and actually, I think we're in the red clay pits Wilson was talking about earlier, so we're back on track, which means my shortcut works, so you're welcome. And we're in elephant country. Always trust your safari guide. These elephants both have, male and female I say, both have the ivory tusk that you see in front of them actually, like the ones we saw back there as well. They're very pretty, right? Unfortunately, also the elephant's downfall though, because like our friend the black rhino, they are being hunted and poached illegally for those ivory tusks that you see in front of them. So their numbers are going down. But here on the reserve, no worries, Hakuna Matata. We have research scientists. They're studying the vocal patterns of elephants.
This is not a camera, honey.
Because the more we know about them, the
camera.
better we can help try to save them, conserve them, get their numbers up, or keep their numbers at a sustainable level. Not right now, baby. Elephants are also really social creatures. They're typically in big herds, like this is a big herd, and herds are typically big families. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, parents, kids, all that good stuff. Big families. Actually, baby elephants stay with their mothers anywhere from 13 to 15 years, so their childhood is a lot like a human childhood. They're just very family-oriented, protective of their young. They're a lot like humans in that way. Their social behaviors are a lot like humans. Actually, saw some elephants back behind those rocks, but kind of can't see them from here. But there is one last place out on the reserve where I'll take you guys where we can get a good view of elephants, so we'll check them out in a second. But we're coming up to Flamingo Island now. Yay! Flamingos are cool too. They are actually the greater flamingo, these ones, because they're the largest flamingos and the lightest shade of pink of all flamingos. Those brownish, grayish birds out there with them are flamingos as well, actually. They're just babies. They haven't gotten their pink coloring yet because flamingos get their pink coloring from a high keratin diet. Foods like shrimp are high in keratin, so after those babies have been eating that diet for long enough, they'll get the nice pink coloring just like those adults have. Oh, I think I see an ostrich up here ahead. There's going to be one up on the left on top of this hill. Ostriches are the world's largest flightless birds. Can't fly, but they can run pretty fast, actually. They are the fastest animal on two legs. They run about 40 miles an hour. And there are also some antelopes over here on our left-hand side.
More like 35 miles an hour, but I'll let that slide.
To the addax. The horns on the addax do get to be about 3 to 4 feet in length. And fun fact about addax, actually, they can survive their whole entire lives on one sip of water. Crazy, huh?
Do they get one sip of water?
Oh, over here on the right-hand side, too, on the ground, there's some eggs there. Those are actually ostrich eggs. Ostrich eggs are the world's largest bird eggs. They probably belong to that ostrich we saw back there, actually, but each one of those ostrich eggs is about 3 pounds, so they are pretty massive. Rightfully so, because those ostriches are pretty massive.
Look, take a picture of those.
She likes the word massive.
That one sip of water thing's pretty wild.
Did you see a white rhino back there?
Nope.
We'll come around this bend and then we should be able to check him out.
Simba 1, I see you at the junction. I suggest you go west. It will be worth it.
Sounds good, Wilson. We'll head west now. Thanks for the tip. So we're gonna head west because I totally trust Wilson. But we're also in cheetah country, so if you look over on your left-hand side and keep your eyes open, you should be able to spot a cheetah or two.
Over to your left.
You guys let me know if you see the cheetahs before I do, because sometimes I have a hard time finding them. You kind of see the white rhino in between the grass up there. We might be able to come around a bend in a little bit to get a better view, but I do see some white rhinos up there, so check them out. Let's see. Oh, I think I see a cheetah up here, actually, sleeping. It's a cheetah up there, kind of hard to see, but up there sleeping in the shade. And cheetahs are the fastest land mammals in the world because they can run anywhere from 60 to 70 miles an hour. They also have really great eyesight, though, so they see really well when they're running. They're the only large cat that will hunt during the day. All other large cats hunt at nighttime. Like lions, for example. Lions hunt at nighttime. We're actually coming up to a Kopi rock formation. Pretty popular spot for lions to hang out. And that antelope right over here on the left-hand side should probably be careful because there are lions near. That's a scimitar horned oryx, though. Those horns on the scimitar horned oryx get their name from the Middle Eastern sword, scimitar. Their horns kind of look like it. You know, lions like to stand on top of those big rocks to kind of look out over the whole savannah, claim their name as the king of the jungle. But they also might be resting because lions do spend a good 18 to 20 hours every single day doing absolutely nothing. They rest pretty much all day long.
Sweet.
Then they wake up at nighttime to do their hunting. Over on the right-hand side, though, you'll see the bontabak. That's that brownish antelope out there. And bontabak cannot be found out in the wild anymore, actually. They are so endangered out in the wild. You can only find them on reserves. I'm going to come around up here. We still have a whole bunch of stuff to see, honestly. This is a 2-week safari. We're only on day 1. So we have a whole lot of ground left to cover. I think we're in warthog territory now. I see these large burrows in the ground here, and warthogs actually make those burrows with their tough snouts. Looks like there's a warthog sleeping in that burrow right now, actually. Now, you'll always see warthogs sleeping with those razor-sharp tusks pointing outward because they back themselves up into their burrows. That's because it's kind of a defense mechanism in case a predator like lions, cheetahs, or any kind of predator really comes into the area. They have their weapons right in front of them, ready to fight. Looks like some more ostrich eggs and another ostrich here, actually. Those eggs probably belong to that ostrich. Oh, looks looks like we're gonna get to see the white rhinos after all over here on our right-hand side.
Sweet.
Much larger than the black rhinos we saw earlier. Actually, these white rhinos weigh about 5,000 pounds each. They are huge. They're also Africa's greatest success story.
There are poachers in the area. Can you help us cut them off?
Yeah, Wilson, definitely. All right, we're gonna have to come back to the white rhinos because Wilson needs our help right now. He needs us to come look for some poachers he said he saw from overhead, so see if we see anything out of the ordinary. Like this broken down gate, that's definitely not ordinary.
Oh no.
All right, you know what, we told Wilson we were gonna help him, and we're gonna help him, so everybody just hang on. And Wilson, tell me where I'm going.
The poachers are heading east. Keep going and you drive them to my patrol. Over.
Got it, Wilson. Oh no, geysers. All right, hang on.
They get wet. Oh, really? I've got it covered.
See anything? Actually,
Yeah.
Wilson, I think I see something coming up ahead. This looks like horns and Tasta. It looks like it's a camp. I think we reached the poacher camp, but I don't see any poachers.
Oh, not to worry. You drop them right into my patrol.
All right, let's go see about that baby elephant then.
The poachers friend, but they won't get far. You located the mother elephant. Thanks to you, they are now both safe. How about they turn out, everyone?
No worries, Wilson. Glad to help.
I have to go now. We have to get this baby elephant back to its mother.
All right, guys. Looks like we helped Wilson. We caught the poachers and rescued the baby elephant all in one day, I might add. Unfortunately, though, all that poacher catching kind of threw us off schedule and off track, so I might have to cut our 2-week safari short by about 2 weeks. But I'll drop you off at the nearest warden post. From there, it's a short hike back to the Harambe village. I recommend checking out the Pangani Forest Trail if you haven't gotten a chance to yet. You'll get to see a whole bunch of animals we didn't get a chance to see out on our safari today.
All right, boys, what did you think?
Good, bye.
Hey,
It was good.
what'd you think?
Doing good.
What'd you think?
Good.
What'd you think?
Do you like that?
Are we ready? Get on.
Yeah, our 2-week safari's over.
That's the safari ride, baby.
They cut the 2 weeks.
He's gonna stay here for 2
Also,
weeks.
What time is it?